And do they immediately come straight down?
They
or
do.
Or do they tour around?
They'll get about 10 minutes of weightlessness before they come back to Earth. So it's not so much of a tour around, but just a period of time where you get to experience weightlessness.
Would you do it?
I would absolutely do it. Are you kidding? In a heartbeat. In fact,
I'll pass.
NASA actually contracts with them for experiments. So we take experiments up from a period of time. Now this red boxer is something you're going to love. And I mean, it's impressive. NASA has this technology. When we launch a robot to Mars, which as you know we're going to do here in July, when we launch a robot to Mars, we have to sterilize the robot. We have to make sure that there's not a microbe on the robot because we don't want to accidentally put a microbe on Mars because we want to make sure anything we discover on Mars is something that was already there. So here's what this does. We took that technology to sterilize a spacecraft and we said, how do we use it to sterilize the inside of a room? And that's what this device is, Ambustat. So think of it as a fogger. It will fog the room and every surface in the room will then be sterilized. No coronavirus. So we use it right now. It's NASA technology used by ambulances. But now we're going to use it for the inside of schools, the inside of prisons.
So people can breathe this in?
It'll take about an hour, and after the room is clear of the fog, think of it as an atomized sterilant that touches every surface and guarantees that there's no germs. That's what we're doing with this. We've been using it in ambulances now for a while. Now we want to take it and use it to sterilize entire rooms so schools can open and businesses can open.
So it's emptied out, and then you would do it?
Yes, that's right.
Do you turn it on remotely or not?
You just bring it in a room, set it down, let it fog, and then every surface ends up being clean. And people can go back to work knowing that their workspace is clean. And it doesn't leave a film on any of the surfaces. You don't have to wipe down the surface.
So what is it that cleans the room?
It's what we call a sterilant. So think of it as a fog. So the fog goes throughout the room, it touches all the surfaces, and it kills viruses. We've used it specifically for MERS. We've used it for Ebola, and we believe it's very effective, and we're proving it out right now. We believe it's going to be very effective for coronavirus as well.
That's great.
It is, yes, sir. And I'll let Dave Gallagher here from JPL, the Jet Propulsion Laboratory out in California, talk about this. But this is an amazing capability built by scientists and engineers out in California at the Jet Propulsion Laboratory. So Dave, I'll let you talk about it.
So, Mr. President, this is actually a great news story in the midst of this pandemic. When we started stay at home about 4 weeks ago, one of our engineers just could not stand the idea of sitting back and doing nothing with the spreading coronavirus and came up with a design very rapidly. We built the team, which did a lot of the work remotely, working from home, and in just over 4 weeks have developed a COVID-19 ventilator. It's unique in many ways, and JPL, we build spacecraft, we don't build medical products, and the innovation and creativity of the men and women of JPL, it's incredible. So this thing has about 80 parts. A normal ICU ventilator has about an order of magnitude higher than that.
Right.
These parts are not in the ventilator supply chain. They're kind of regular parts. So we will not, by building these, we will not interrupt the supply chain for ICU ventilators. Most importantly, COVID-19 patients their lungs are not compliant, so you need high pressure. And this is a high pressure ventilator from day one. We got Mount Sinai, doctors on the front line involved. We got the FDA involved. This thing just finished a couple days of testing at Mount Sinai. We submitted it for FDA approval.
How did it do?
It did great. They have the most high fidelity lung simulator anywhere.
So how would this compare to a really high quality ventilator?
So the difference is...
This is heavily computerized, by the way.
The real difference is a ICU ventilator, a traditional one that you'd find in a hospital right now, is meant to deal with any kind of situation. This is really targeted for COVID-19 patients. And so,
because of the pressure?
Because of the pressure, it's very easy to manufacture. So we submitted the FDA approval, and then just this morning, JPL is operated for NASA. It's by Caltech. And so this morning, Caltech, we went live with a royalty-free worldwide license. And we have, you know, what I hear, hundreds of companies are interested in manufacturing these. They should be very inexpensive to manufacture. I don't want to say
This is great.
what it is, but it's
Yeah.
just a wonderful
No, this is
story.
really great. What do you think it'll cost to produce that?
I hesitate to say, but
But
it should,
less expensive than a
it
real-
should be, I would guess, a factor of 10
Yeah.
less to manufacture,
Very
maybe
much less expensive.
$3,000,
Very
$4,000,
good.
something like
Yeah,
that.
that's fantastic.
Yeah,
Well,
very
congratulate,
proud of our people and happy to show it to you.
congratulate the engineer, right?
I sure will. Dave Van Buren is his
Say
name.
hello to Dave.
I
That's
will
good.
do that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much,
All
everybody.
right, guys,
Thank
come
you.
on, let's go.
That's fantastic.
Thank you, sir.
We're,
Take care.
All right, let's go.
Great to meet you.
Look after David for me, all right?
I sure will.
Okay, take care.
Come on, guys, we're done.
We'll put out a transcript tonight around like 7 minutes.